It's all over. Breaking Bad has come to an end, and what a fucking television show that was. Holy shit. I can't believe I hadn't started watching this show till a couple months ago. After just incessantly getting nagged to watch it, just by people I know and by you guys out there, constantly telling me, have you seen this show? Oh my god, you should watch it, it's great, and all this, and just thank you to everyone that encouraged me to watch this show, to finally twist my arm to the point that I gave in and just decided to sit down and watch it that one day and got addicted, and then just for the next 2 weeks of my life, just everything was ruined because it was nothing other than watching that show on Netflix. So, just obviously, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. I'm going to be talking about key things that happened in the final episode in the show. If you didn't watch the final episode, then don't bitch in the comments about me saying something that ended up in the final episode. Anyway, I really liked how this all concluded. There were some parts that I can nitpick with, but I'm satisfied with the way this show ended. I mean, I still would argue that the more pivotal episode was the 2 episodes back where Hank gets killed in the beginning of the episode. That was quite possibly one of the greatest episodes of any television show in history. As for how I feel about the show in totality, it's definitely the best dramatic TV series I've ever seen. Would I put it up there as the best television show I've seen? It's up there, and maybe just having watched it again, maybe, or mulling it over, I don't know if I really want to go and jump off on that, but that's just, an arbitrary discussion for another day anyway. This final episode, how they integrated the Gray Matter co-founder that you haven't seen since the first season, and that's another thing that this show would do. They did such a great job of tying up loose ends. As for just obvious plot holes that you see on television, even a show like The Sopranos had obvious plot holes out the ass. The guy that Paulie and Chris let escape in the Jersey woods in the Pine Barrens, where they let that Russian guy escape and then they don't address it again. Whatever happened with that, I don't know. Plot fucking hole, that's what happened. But this show, I would put this above The Sopranos, and I was a Sopranos fucking mark to the extreme. Breaking Bad, I'm sorry, blew Sopranos out of the water. I'll fucking say that right now with complete affirmness. Is that a word? I think so. Anyway, I'm sorry, but I'm making this after just watching it, and it's just mind-blowing how good this TV show was for just some cable series on AMC. I mean, again, it's tying up the loose ends, involving the Gray Matter co-founder in that final episode, in the final 2 episodes. You totally forget that person even exists, and how Mr. White just feels disgruntled towards him for basically selling out his half of the company to him, and he ends up being a multi-millionaire. And the whole thing with the ricin and wondering what was going to happen to that ricin, I had 1,000 different ideas in my mind with what the fuck that ricin was going to be. Didn't even guess. And another thing about, just aside from tying up plot lines, the predictability of this show. When a show is well written, you should not be able to figure out anything. I know someone's out there who's going to be like, oh, I predicted this and that, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. But predicting that ricin was going to be put in Lydia's tea and that she was going to drink it and end up dying from it, I didn't even possibly have that as a possible option, and it was brilliant how it was carried out. It was brilliant that Mr. White knew how routine she was with things, knew that she would be there at that restaurant, knew that she uses that shitty off-brand sweetener for her tea or coffee, whatever it was. Fucking hell, this show is just so well written, so well produced, so well acted, minus Skyler, who didn't die, but I won't harp on that too much. You know, it's great. Let her live to raise Mr. White's daughter and Flynn, or Walt Jr., whatever you want to call him. Oh boy, again, I can't thank you guys enough for encouraging me to watch this show, for just incessantly, just to the point of saying, like, God damn, stop fucking asking me to watch this show. I'll watch it when I want to watch it. No, thank you all for being pestering fucks for making me watch this show. Holy shit, what a great goddamn experience. As for the very end of this final episode, and I know I'm really just scraping the surface of what this show was and what it meant and the plot and everything like that. I don't know. I'm just kind of putting this out there as a fan of the show, just to give it like the conclusive thought. So why not just cover at least, you know, what happened in the very end? Jesse doesn't die. I thought for certain that he was going to die. For one of the main reasons is when he killed the old shop assistant that worked with Mr. White. I'm forgetting his name. The hippie guy. Fuck. Anyways, when he goes to his apartment, shoots him in cold blood. When I saw that episode, I was like, there is no way Jesse can get away with this. Like, I mean, I know he's doing it like to cover his and Mr. White's ass so they don't get killed, but that's first degree committed murder, and I'm just like, there's no way Jesse can get away with this by the end of the series. He's gonna have to fucking die. But no, Jesse lives. Mr. White ends up dying. Mr. White ends up dying by his own little concoction, that gun that he had rigged up in the back of his car to kill all the Nazi fucks. He ends up catching a stray bullet, and that's what ends up killing him. One of the things I thought this would be a stylistic way for Mr. White to go out, and it didn't happen, so I just want to kind of share here with you guys. I thought that he would be basically just, you know, painted into a corner. You knew he was going back to get the Nazi fucks that stole all his money. And the fact that Uncle Frank, was it? Yes, the Uncle Frank, the head of the Nazis, when, like, you know, he's like, no, before Mr. White's about to kill him, he's like, listen, if you put a bullet in my head, you're never gonna find out where your money is. Mr. White just goes poof, and just blows his fucking head off, just to say that he's not there for the money. He's just there for the principle of revenge and saving Jesse's life that one last time. Oh my god. Oh my god. And I kind of got off topic in my mind there. And I thought that Mr. White for sure was going to go back, kill those Nazi fucks. He was going to see that they had the cooking lab, and he was going to basically try and destroy the lab. Now, it was working out to that, where he goes into the lab in the very end of the episode. What I thought was going to happen, I thought this would be just kind of an ironic twist to things, is that he was going to be basically get his revenge, do whatever he's got to do to Jesse, or Jesse's got to do whatever he's got to do to him, and he was just going to simply OD on meth. OD on his own creation. I don't know. I thought that would have been a really stylistic way to end the series, but I don't know, maybe that's just me. I thought he was just going to flat out just say, hey, you know, I've never done hard drugs like this before. He's only smoked pot. He never even did meth. I thought he was just going to get just a line of meth, get like 10 million milligrams worth, crushed up, snorted up, and just fucking drop dead. And be the death of his own creation. Anyway, that's how I thought it was going to end. Jesse, like the number of times they tease of Jesse basically attempting to kill him, or make it look like he was attempting to kill him, I thought that was pretty cool. But overall, just very happy with how they ended this. Though, if you want to nitpick a thing or two, what the fuck could Jesse possibly do once he escaped? Like, seriously, like, where would he possibly go, or what would he do? That's kind of left up in the air for your own interpretation, but, you know, I guess you don't really need to know. And the only other thing I had a little bit of contention with in this final episode was the fact that Mr. White comes back to Albuquerque, and he's just, like, roaming the streets. He goes to see his son get off the school bus. He goes to see Lydia and douchebag McGee at the diner, at that little corner store, whatever the fuck that coffee house was. Like, and he doesn't get spotted. I don't know. I thought that was a bit of a stretch of the imagination. Like I said that the girl fiend, she's like, "Oh, it's just a TV show." I was like, "Yeah, I know," but the continuity of it and the suspending of disbelief is pretty drastic for that. For him to not be spotted like that, he would be one of the most wanted men in that town. His face would be everywhere. Anyway, especially after there was confirmation that he was there because his neighbor saw him. And anyway, great fucking television show. Thank you guys again for being so persistent about getting me to watch this. The second most persistent show you guys have been with me is The Wire. I haven't seen an episode of The Wire, though that is like the next show on my list that I want to tackle. And unfortunately, Netflix doesn't air them because HBO is a bitch like that about giving their shows to Netflix. Fucking assholes. Anyway. Thanks again, guys. Great fucking ending. Great fucking series. One weak link being Skyler. It's a shame they couldn't fit Saul into the final episode, but he's over in Nebraska and hiding, so it's kind of hard to fit him in. Anyways, I've rambled on long enough. Thank you guys again. This show has been nothing but a fucking treat to see, and it's all done. I can't look forward to it anymore, even though it's only consumed a 4-month portion of my life here since I was very late to the game in watching this. So, everyone, thank you again, and now time to watch The Wire. Have a great day, everyone.